Good morning and welcome to our Connections post show. We're so excited that you are with us. Thank you so much for being here. How's everybody doing this morning?
Great.
Yeah,
Good.
very good.
Good. Some of the weather outside, a little bit cold. It's kind of going up and down. Yesterday was a little bit warmer, but hopefully
The deceptive sunshine.
it is.
Yeah.
Looked nicer out than it was.
And then it was cold.
Yes.
Yeah. And the wind lately has been killing us. Man, it's just not loving the wind. I feel like a 0-degree day with sunshine and no wind feels just fine.
Right.
But the slightest breeze and it's just too much. But
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy. So what how about this message? Back to the basics. We're in our Back to the Future series. Perry today talking about fellowship. What were some of your key takeaways? We'll just have conversation from there.
I liked the coordination with Perry's shirt.
Yeah.
You guys notice that?
Yes.
We did.
Yes, that was
Steve
nice.
pointed it out online.
1.21 gigawatts, 88 miles per hour. It's great. What else?
I really like I enjoy fellowship with other Christians regularly. And I think it's huge in terms of my faith and
Mhm.
my connection to others also leads into a deeper connection with Jesus. And I just love that. It's a big part of my walk.
Yeah, absolutely. Darren, how about you?
I think it's an important part of being like Jesus, right? Like he created us to be in community. He set the example with the disciples. And I think if we try to be Christians on our own, like we're just going to fail miserably, you know,
Yeah.
and we were created to be in community. It's one thing that I think our technology does a good job of pulling us out of. When we get on our phones, we just kind of like we're in our own world and we miss what's going on around us. And I think as Christians, we do that too sometimes with our faith, where we just get in our own walk and we don't pay attention to anything else around us. We're just kind of doing our own thing, and God's got all of these better blessings for us and these supports and these healings and all these things with the people that he's meant for us to be with. Sometimes we just miss making ourselves a part of it. So.
Yeah, I think that was one of the things that initially when social media first popped up mid 2000s, right? It was like, oh man, this is an amazing way for us to get connected and for just to be together and to, connect with old friends and make new ones and everything. And now it's just something that can be so divisive and pull us apart and do so many things that makes us feel like we have a community, but it's
Facade.
it's a facade.
Mhm.
Exactly. And that can be one of the dangers of that, right? And so I agree with that. I know that Perry talked a little bit about fellowship and then from a different perspective, but from your core understanding of what fellowship is and what it's meant to be, what are things that, Gary, particularly you mentioned that it's been a huge part of your faith walk. What does that look like in your life, and what do you think we can take from the idea of fellowship to help us further the gospel in our own circles?
Well, one of the big things that I believe is that if I open myself up to you, and really, so a while back, I'm old, but a while back, someone said to me, intimacy, into me see. So when I'm having intimacy, that means I allow you to see who I really am.
Yeah.
And when I do that, my hope is it frees you to let me in as well. And I think until we can let each other in, really let each other into our world, we really can't have the sort of fellowship that I really crave. And I think it's the sort of fellowship that is being referred to here. This whole facade thing, surface stuff, I can barely remember your name kind of thing. That's not fellowship. So for me, it is really letting people see who I am and inviting people into my life with the hope that I can now have a greater influence in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. What else?
Yeah, I absolutely agree with what Gary just mentioned. And along the lines of intimacy, I think it's also important to show vulnerability. That's what comes to mind to me. When you are just being truly authentic in who you are and real, and exposing some of the things that you may not want to expose.
Right.
It connects, I think, on a completely different level. So it's something that I personally try to lean into, just being very authentic and being real and honest, because
Yeah.
the facade is not only something that can show online or social media, but can absolutely show in person too, right?
Yeah. I think authenticity is one of the things that we're most afraid of.
Yeah.
Right. Because we want people to see the best part, not the realest part.
Yeah.
And that's super easy to do online.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because you can, I mean, that's why cyberbullying is such a huge issue, because you can say whatever you want with virtually no consequence. And it makes you seem tougher than you are,
Right.
or whatever. You can, type whatever you want and then back off and be done. But fellowship requires that intimacy, that authenticity, and there's a different depth to that. But yeah, Darren, what do you think?
I think for me, one of the biggest things is just doing life with people and making it intentional where I'm spending time with other believers, because I think, Perry put a couple pictures up there, a picture of us with our group. It's surprising how many people, when you really open stuff up to people, like how many people are looking for those connections and for that community. What you didn't see in that picture was we had over 10 or 12 couples on that trip that just we took up half the campground because there were so many people that are looking to do life with other believers. And if you just give them those opportunities, a lot of times they're going to line up for that, because it's part of who they're built to be, right? There's this desire for our hearts to be in community. And so I try personally just to be really intentional with doing life with other believers and opening myself up to that opportunity. So
Yeah. I think people need us in their life as much as we need them in ours. Right. I had seen a post, it was either this morning or yesterday, on, I think it was like Adulting 101 on Reddit. And I just got this random alert, and it broke my heart, because this person said, I'm done. I'm just absolutely done. And I was like, oh, okay, now I have to read it. Like, what are you done with? And they basically said that they are done with being the friend that they want to have, because nobody reciprocates. And how many people, I mean, even probably in our church, are experiencing the same thing, that, I'm only going to put as much effort in as other people give me, when the kingdom is the opposite, right?
Yeah.
Like Jesus was the one who sought out people. Jesus was the one who pursued them. He called them out by name to follow him. He gave them a personal invitation to be walking with him. And then we look at the examples that Perry gave in Acts, right? In the early church, I mean, they were selling off their extra houses, their property, like everything, so that nobody had anything that they were wanting. What do you think that would look like if we were to act like that? And how difficult is it going to be if that's something that we choose to do?
Take sacrifice, right? Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, the devil's involved.
Right.
And if everyone was operating at the same level, it could be utopia.
Yeah.
The problem is everyone isn't operating at the same level. Everyone doesn't have the same relationship with Jesus, and the devil is involved. But another old saying is, the fact that I cannot do everything is no excuse for doing nothing. So we have to make the effort.
Yeah.
We have to make the effort. And it comes with a risk. We're going to risk our hearts. We're going to risk our possessions. It comes at a risk, but we have to do something.
Yeah.
And one of the things that stood out for me as he was talking about fellowship, he said something about it can be uncomfortable. And there are so many things in our lives that the first time we try it, it's uncomfortable. And the more we do it, the more we do it, the more we do it, the more comfortable it becomes. So my encouragement is try it a little. Don't, if it's your personality to jump in with both feet, fine. But if it's not your personality, just do something.
Yeah.
Do something and then build on that and learn from your mistakes and keep building on it, because it is uncomfortable for some people. It was definitely uncomfortable for me, but it's taken me 50 years to get to the point I'm at now, because I was a very, very shy person.
Right.
So please jump in and do a little.
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest things I see with small groups is people are like, oh, is it going to be awkward? Is it going to be weird?
Probably.
And they're just so afraid to take that first step. And I've had people, because I tend to be a bit of a badger with that stuff. Like if I'm inviting you and I've singled you out, like you're going to be at our house at some point. So I've had a lot of people tell me like, man, I am so glad that you didn't just give up after one. That you just kept asking and kept inviting and were intentional with it, because that's some of the deepest friendships that we have now is those people that we just kind of like put extra effort into and chase after. And I think that like people are afraid of small groups because it's one of those things where they're just like, I don't know what to expect. Is it going to be uncomfortable? Is it going to be weird? But same thing as Gary said, man, just rip the Band-Aid off. Just try it once. Just try it once. Just go. And it's funny, the first time that people go, they're like, man, we always get people that are like, this is way better than I thought it was going to be. Like, this isn't as awkward as I thought it was going to be. This isn't as weird or scary or intimidating. It's like, it's just such a relief for them to just experience it once and see that we're just all human. We're just like you,
Right.
There's nothing different here. So yeah, I'd echo that. Just take that first step. Just go.
Layla, how about you?
Well, I was just gonna add that in thought of small groups, I definitely encourage people to look at, and I put a link in the chat in case anybody was looking at that, to the small groups, because what I really appreciate here at Connections is that there's such a variety of different small groups. There's family oriented, or the singles ready to mingle. Just kidding. But there's young adults. I mean, that there's just, I haven't even looked at the most recent dynamics of the small groups, but I just really appreciate that we do that here at Connections. I think that it's something special about Connections, the small groups in particularly. When my family and I have participated in small groups, which it's hard, right? Because sometimes the season of life, depending on where you're at with us with kids, it's like, what day of the week can we possibly squeeze in a small group? So you should always, I guess, encourage you to always try to, myself included, fit it in when you can, when your schedule allows. But when you do, what I want to highlight is you won't regret it. To Darren's point, because you just naturally do connect with people on another level. It's surprised me. I was terrified. Like, it made me sweat just thinking about going into a small group or hosting a small group, right? Like, very scary opening up my house. And I don't know, I told you guys earlier, I'm very authentic and weird, and people kept coming. Right? So it's hard to explain, but some of our like deepest connections with people here at Connections have came from small groups.
Yeah. And I think, to your point earlier, it's one of those places that you can authentically be yourself, invite that intimacy, learn how much willing people are to invite you and desire for you to be there. There are so many things that having a group of people that are in your corner, no matter what, it just does something for you to be able to live life in a way that is freeing. That is, you don't have to like second guess. You know that there are people who can give you wisdom or encouragement, and that are going to be in your corner to pray with you to do that. And I mean, sure, we have people that are sometimes, they're like, hey, would you pray for me? Sure, I can do that. I don't know everything that's going on in your life. I don't know what plays into things. And I think that's one of the different ways that being in a part of a small group can definitely do. And this wasn't just about small groups, right? It's not just that, but this is a major way that we have that's readily available for anybody to be a part of and to really get in and to do some of the deep relational work that comes from being a part of a small group, right? And doing that. And like, I love to think how Jesus had, he had the 12, but then he really had the 3, and then maybe even arguably the 1, Peter, that he was really, really deep and close with, and that, a lot of the gospel work took place through. And it was one of those things that, I think that God, this is a plug, not a deterrence. God uses small groups to create further leaders. And so God is creating somebody in your groups to carry out the mission and to multiply and to grow. Because we do church here, and that's great. But like Perry pointed out, fellowship is not what happens in the 10 minutes between services.
Right.
That's a greeting. That's good and all, but it's not doing that work. What do you think is a good first step for somebody to get into doing some of the work that requires to be relational? We already mentioned, stepping into a small group. That's great. Is there something smaller that they could do before that?
Well, I think there's lots of great events, whether we're hosting it here at Connections or, just in general, but that's where I started. I didn't start with small group because it was making me sweaty thinking about it. It was too small. But there's lots of other things. And you can obviously check that out on our church app or website. I feel like I'm back on the pre-show.
Shameless plugs.
I know, shameless plugs all day. But no, there really are. I can't really think of a time where there's not something going on.
Yeah.
And it's more broader setting. And a little lighter, right? You don't have to go to somebody's house per se, and it's usually a bigger group, and there's some type of fun activity or food or both. So I think that's a great starting point. And going back to your earlier note, like bringing up your courage to talk to somebody in between, or the different sessions that we have is a great starting point as well. Just starting to interact in general, right? I'm guilty of this too, like in and out. I'll say my good mornings, but I'm not very great with intentional conversations of asking how somebody's doing, or, the small steps I think can, they're building blocks, I guess.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way.
Awesome. You guys have anything?
Well, I want to build on that, what Layla just said, and that those 10 minutes in between can lead to something.
Absolutely.
And if you listen more than you talk, maybe you're going to get something. And, if you say something to me that, this is going on in my life, and I say, I'm going to pray for you, I need to pray for you, really pray for you. But also, I've had great success with just asking, hey, can you give me your phone number and I'll ping you about this?
Yeah.
And when you like randomly ping someone and say, how you doing today? Or I'm thinking about you today. That's all you got to say.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about you.
Yeah.
And it means something to them. And it means something to me when it happens for me.
Yep.
So, like I say, take small steps.
Yep.
And the more you do it, the more comfortable it'll become.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think these are things that you don't necessarily need to apply just in your church community circle.
Exactly.
At work, in all parts of your walk of life. Even small things like this week, I randomly felt a prompting and I led into it with buying the person's coffee behind me.
That's cool.
I think that is an act of fellowship, right? I don't even know who that person is, right? But it all adds up. They all mean something.
We want to feel seen.
Yes. Yep. They can absolutely, those little moments can go a really long way.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I think that's awesome. And I think it's a lot that we can apply, right? It's not something that we just sit here and talk about, but it's something that we can act on and really start to take more steps towards a deeper faith and relationship with Jesus. But we just want to go ahead and wrap up. So thank you so much for being here with us today. We love you so much, and we hope that you find Jesus this week and your times alone. Remember, as much as we love you, Jesus loves you more. So go and God bless you.